Hey everyone, this is Mr. Isometric and welcome back to another part of Blender Beginner Tutorial series. In today's video, we are going to talk about texture painting a little bit lightly because texture painting is a major skill in itself, and Blender do has a lot to offer with this texture painting stuff, but it is underrated and also it is not that optimized. So if you have larger models or higher resolution images, your Blender might crash or lag. Also, managing all the image textures while texture painting can get a little bit tedious and hard to manage. That is why most of the people prefer something like Substance Painter, where you get layer based workflow and at the end you get a final result as a PBR texture maps of your choices. So now the question is, why should you learn texture painting in Blender? So now let us say that you already have an existing asset which is textured and you want to give it a little bit different look. Then instead of going into external software to edit it, I think it is better to just do it inside Blender, which will save you a ton of time. And if you're just going to render it inside Blender, so yeah, texture painting should be your first choice. Also, if you're going to create some small stylized asset and if you have a good knowledge of how to paint your assets, then you can totally do that in Blender itself. So that's being said, texture painting is a good skill to know as a beginner 3D artist, because the same process also applies in some other sectors. So yeah, I think that is good enough a reason to know how to texture paint inside Blender. Okay, so let's start by adding an asset to paint in our scene. So I'm going to add Suzanne the monkey, which is default inside Blender. Now this is a subdivision ready asset, so don't mind this eye mesh poking out a little bit. We can ignore that for now. So I'm just going to split my window right now and change this to shader editor. Now let's go ahead and add a material on top of it. So don't forget to rename your material. It is a good habit to have to rename your materials and mesh. Hopefully you have turned on your Node Wrangler add-on. So I'm just going to press Ctrl and T, and this is going to add an image texture, a mapping node, and a texture coordinate node. Now do note that our UV coordinate is plugged inside the vector coordinate. This is actually not needed, so you can just totally delete that node if you want. Now you need to also make sure that your model is properly unwrapped and it is not overlapping. So if we go into the edit mode, you'll see that it pre-existingly comes with a really nice UV unwrapped. So we are going to leave it to that. For texture painting, we need an image to texture on top of. So we are going to create it over here. So just click on the new button and then you can name your image something like base color. Naming doesn't matter. Now in the width and height, you are going to put the resolution of the image that you want to make. I'm going to keep it pretty low res because with the higher resolution image texture painting, it lags a little bit. I'm going to keep it low res. Also the color, you can choose whatever color you want for the base mesh. I'm going to keep it something like this. I'm going to keep the alpha channel. If you don't want the alpha channel, you can remove it. Make sure the generated type is at the blank, and let's just create a new image. Now that you have created your new image, make sure your color space is appropriate. For this case, we are going to paint the color detail. That's why it is set to sRGB. Make sure that your image texture is selected and also make sure that your asset is selected. And now you can either go into the texture paint mode, which I don't usually do, or you can just click over here and then click on texture paint to go inside texture painting mode. Now in Blender, you can paint on the 3D model and as well as the 2D image texture. And if you don't see your UV layout like this, that is because if you go into the edit mode and not select any of your mesh and get out of the edit mode. Now let's go back to the texture paint mode. Now you'll see whatever you have selected in the edit mode, it will only show it over here. So if I go back into the edit mode again, select everything, go back into the texture painting mode. There you go. We can see the UV layout. Now this is pretty useful when you have a nice UV unwrap. You can also paint it over here. Before we even start painting, you cannot paint inside the UV editor. You have to paint inside the image editor. Okay. And inside image editor, you get a lot of options, which is something as saving your image. So I will highly recommend you to save your image even before you start painting. So create a folder something like monkey texture. Okay, and then you can save this image with zero compression and sRGBA. Save our image. Okay, so our image is now saved. To start painting, go ahead and click your left mouse button and start painting like that, and you'll see we just painted some color information. I'm just going to undo that for now. Now you can go on top over here and then select any color you want paint with. and just start painting your model. But that's not it. If we go over here in the tools section, you will get all the tools that are mentioned over here on the top over here as well. And I find this tool menu a bit more useful than going on top and changing settings from over here. And as I said, you can paint on both 3D and 2D. So if you want to paint on 2D, you can come to your image editor and then click on the paint section. If you press T to enable your toolbar, you see that we have the same toolbar which is over here in the 3D view, same available inside the 2D view over there. And now I can start painting it over here as well. And then you can again go over here and then select any color you want, and then you can start painting it like this. Okay, I'm just going to undo it real quick. Now let's learn a little bit more about all of these tool brushes which you will be needing for texture painting inside Blender. So the first thing is our normal draw tool, and each of these tools have their own different settings which you can change. So for instance, we already talked about the color, but color also has two sections, which is the primary color and secondary color, or you can just say your color palette 1 and color palette 2. If you click on this circular icon, swap colors icon, we will swap between those two really quickly, and then you can start painting in between those two colors like this. Now the next thing is how to increase your brush size. So for that, you can either go on top over here and then change the radius manually like this. And as you can see, it is lagging a little bit, but it is because larger your brush size is, the more image texture you're going to do at once. So that's why it lags a little bit inside Blender. So I will always keep this brush size a little bit smaller like this. Let us go ahead and add a subdivision surface modifier so that our mesh gets a little bit smoother. Now the amount of resolution you have on your mesh typically doesn't matter, because it totally depends on what resolution of your image is. So if I now go ahead and start painting on top of this monkey eyes like this, the thing is the fall off of this eye, it is smooth at the end. And suppose if you don't want that, then what you can do is either go into your tool section like this, and then you'll see a fall off, and then you can either manually have a custom fall off with your curve, or you can go ahead and choose any of the pre-existing presets. So suppose if I take the constant, and now if I start painting, you'll see that the results are much more harsher. If I change it to something like linear, then the linear will behave a little bit different than the constant one, and each of them have their own unique ways of adding paint to your mesh. Now I'm just going to undo it a little bit more. Now the next thing which is very useful, it is symmetry option. So I'm just going to make my fall off to soft. And if your model is symmetric, just like this monkey asset, we can see that it is symmetric on the x-axis. So if I choose the x-axis and if I now start painting it, you'll see that the thing that I do on the left, it is happening on the right, and the thing that I do on the right, it is happening on the left. Now there is one more thing. You can also adjust what type of stroke you are using. So right now we are using the space method, and you can add a little bit of jitter if you want, and this will add a jitteriness to your stroke. You can add the spacing, so it is set on 10%. If I set it to 500%, you'll see that it will actually take a long. So let me just make it a little bit shorter. So as you can see, it is placing those dot like effect, because between each stroke there is a little bit of a spacing. So usually the spacing, the less spacing you have, the more constant stroke you are going to get. You can also change between these pre-existing ones. So I will say do experiment with all of this brush stroke method. I don't know how curve works. I never use actually that. So you probably might need to experiment with that a little bit. But apart from that, that's how it works. Okay, so now you don't always have to get over here and then change the fall off and change the radius from on top over here. There is a shortcut key for that as well. So if you press F, you can increase and decrease your brush radius like this. And then if I press F again, okay, so let me just make my brush a little bit bigger. So now if I hold down shift and press F, you'll see that now I'm controlling the intensity of that fall off. So if I now go over here, and now if I start painting, you'll see that my strength has gone down. So we are controlling the strength of that brush stroke. So by this, if you keep on painting, at the end you will reach the strength of 1. So in this way you can paint lightly on top of your object like this. So you can increase the strength to 1 and you will get the full saturation of the color. One thing you might have noticed, there is this icon over here. Now I'm using my mouse, so this won't work, but if you're using pen tablet and if you want to use the pressure to control the strength, then enable this icon over there. And if you want to control the radius with your pen tablet, then you can click on this button as well. Though I'm using my mouse right now, so it will not work. So with the pressure you can control the radius, and with the pressure you can control the strength. And if you make this strength to something like 0.5, and now if you start using your tablet, then the maximum pressure that your tablet allows will only give you zero point 0.5 of the strength value. Usually what I like to do is I like to keep my strength at 1, and then if I'm using my tablet, I like to control my strength from my tablet. And radius, I like to keep it constant so that I know how my strokes are going to look, so that gives me a really nice idea. So texture mask and texture, I think those things are better learn later when you are comfortable with texturing your models inside Blender, and as you are learning you will know about them a little bit more. So now let's talk about what are these tools over here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my image clear again, and for that we can click on the color palette over there and select this eyedropper tool, and I'm going to sample this color from over here, and then I'm just going to basically erase everything back to normal. Let me just increase my brush size like this, and then let's paint everything out like that. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to select some colors. Let us say I select this brown, dark brown color like this, and we already seen that this is our draw brush tool, so you can draw anything on your mesh like this. The second is soften one, and to know more about the soften brush, I think I will create my fall off to constant, and I will just add a line like this. And now let's enable the soften tool. Let's zoom in a little bit, and if I now click and drag, you'll see that it is softening the edges. So if you want to blend between two colors, this is a really nice choice to have. So suppose, let us say, if I go ahead and if I swap it with the pink color over there, and now if I go to the soften tool and if I soften it, now it will try to merge or blend between those two colors, and it will create a new color over there. So we just merge those two colors together. Now if you want to increase the merginess of, like, say, if you want to increase pink more over the brown, what you can use is you can use this smear tool. Now if I click on the smear tool and if I smear it like this, you can see it is almost like I'm smudging the color on top of another one, and you can create this smudging effect between two colors, and then you can soften it a little bit. So this way you can blend between two textures or two colors pretty nicely together like that. So the next tool is the clone tool. Now clone tool works exactly like it works in Photoshop, and to use it you need to place your cursor where you want to clone your things from. So if I now hold down Control and left mouse button, click over there, you'll see now it will start sampling. As soon as I click my left mouse button, it is going to start sampling it from over there. And if I go up like this, wait, let me just turn on my symmetric real quick. Okay, now if I hold down left mouse button and if I start painting, you'll see that it is sampling from that point, and it is creating this same clone effect from bottom to top like this. So you'll see whatever we painted below, it is now exactly painted on the top, same exact details and same exact smear. You can also do this on other sides, but do keep in mind that when you are starting to paint it like this, you'll see that on the side view it is not working, because from this view angle I can only see that much portion of the thing. So it is also kind of based on how you are viewing it. So if I now start painting it over here, you'll see that it is painting it exactly as we can view it over there. One more thing, if you start painting with the clones tool like this, and if you suddenly stop and if you start painting it again, you'll see that you cannot just resume painting from where you started. The moment you leave your left mouse button, it is going to stop cloning and it is going to start a new clone again. So do keep in mind, using clone tool is kind of difficult, or you can say it is kind of tricky. Now the fill tool is self-explanatory. If I now go ahead and try to click on over there on that model, you'll see that it just filled my whole model with one single color. And for the monkey, I think I would like it to have this dark brown color, something near the green area like this. And then you can go ahead and start painting some more details. Let us say if I want to paint its eyes, I'm going to turn on the symmetry like this, and then I can start working on its eyes like this. Also the fall off, let us change it to smooth again, and I'm going to paint on its eyes like this. You need to have a little bit of a painting knowledge before you start painting your assets, and if you don't have a clear idea of what you are going to do with this asset, then you will find yourself struggling a little bit with texture painting inside Blender. Now, as I said, it is very useful if you have existing assets and if you want to texture on top of them. Now for the nose, you can go ahead and pick something this color, and I can paint it on top like this. You can make its mouth a little bit reddish like that. Okay. And for the ears, we can go for something like this, and then we can paint its ears like that. Okay, so you can go all out and you can texture it any ways you want. Now you're not only limited to painting the color information, but you can also paint the roughness value, metallic value if you want. So what I'm going to do over here is just create a new image texture. So I'm just going to duplicate the top one. Let's plug the UV coordinate inside the vector socket just to be sure that it is using the same UV map. I'm going to click on this X button to remove that texture, and now we are going to create a new image texture. Let's call it something like roughness. The spelling is wrong, but we are going to totally ignore that. The color, I'm going to make it fully rough like this, so value of 1. And we are going to create a new image, and also we are going to make sure that our color space is set to non-color, and we are going to plug this color information into the roughness information. So again, select your image, go back into the object mode, and again go back into the texture painting mode. And now you can see that we have our roughness image over here. So first thing I'm going to do is save that image on my PC. Now you can paint the roughness information. So roughness information can only be painted in black and white. So I'm just going to make my hue and saturation 0. So now I don't want my eyes to be rough at all. So I'm going to paint it with black value. Now black value means 0. So I'm just going to paint it, and I forgot to turn on the symmetry. So you get the same stuff for painting other things as well. Now I don't want its nose to be that specular or that smooth, so I'm going to make it less rough, something like that, and I'm going to paint that value over here. Let's make its mouth a little bit more shiny, so let's click that and let's paint it like this. I'm going to make its ear also a little bit shiny, so not that much. So I think the value of 0.5 would look great on the ear, so I'm just going to paint it like that. All right, so now we can go ahead and go back into our object mode. Now to see your result, first go ahead and save your image. So now if I go into the rendered view, you'll see that, let me just shade smooth it a little bit. Okay, so you'll see that my eyes, they are less rough. As you can see, they are reflecting light. My nose is not that rough, it is also reflecting light a little bit, and my mouth, it is also very shiny. Let's check out the ears. So as you can see, ears are also a little bit more shiny than the whole other area. So this is how you can texture paint your assets inside Blender. Now you can create another image texture, plug that into, I guess, a specular highlight. You can also paint a subsurface texture if you want. So yeah, that's how you texture paint inside Blender. And I went pretty fast because this topic is something that you should learn in depth with some other video tutorials as well. So do check out some other videos as well. I just laid out a basic setup that you should check out while you start texture painting, and I hope this video helps you kickstart your texture painting journey. I will probably not talk about sculpting in my future video because sculpting is not something that I I do very often, and it is better to learn sculpting from the beginning from a professional who is doing that for years and not someone like me. Probably this is the second last video. In the next video we are going to render the table that we made in our previous lectures. Do check my previous videos out if you haven't. Project files will be available on my Ko-fi, so do check it out. Link will be in the description below, and if you have any doubts, mention them in a comment section below, or you can join my Discord server and ask your questions over there. If you want to be a part of friendly community of 3D artists, do subscribe to my channel to support me, and like this video to help me make more such videos, or share it with your friends if they also are a beginner 3D artist. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope this video helped, and I'll see you in the next video tutorial. Bye bye.